The following episode contains language and descriptions of violence and self-harm. It may not be appropriate for all listeners, but it was my life. Discretion is advised. What up, what up? Welcome back to another episode of Roll Call with Chappie. I'm stealing a lot of his lines here today, but I got a real badass with me today, Mr. Brad Lea from Las Vegas. Thank you so much for coming out here, bro.
My pleasure.
We're going to get into some stuff today. This dude does it all, man, from real financial, real solar, Lightspeed VT, done it all, left the car business. I want to get into before all that stuff. So how the hell did you get to where you are? Like, how'd you grow up?
Well, I grew up in a blue-collar family in the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
You know, ran around, had parents that believed children should be seen and not heard. So I was kind of on my own, which allowed me to figure shit out, get a little resourceful as a youngster. And, you know, that looking back, that helps.
Okay.
Because a lot of people, they don't understand, you know, being resourceful is the key.
Yeah.
Got to have resources.
So you had a good childhood, no trouble or anything?
Not really.
Okay, cool.
I mean, you know, I'd steal shit.
Yeah. What did you do directly after high school?
Well, when I was 6 years old, I bullshitted everybody.
Okay.
Because we lived in a little tiny house around a bunch of big houses. So I felt, you know, stupid, felt ashamed of being the poor kid.
That's how I was.
So I just lied to everybody, and that backfired. So it didn't really feel good being shunned for 2 or 3 years. So when my parents moved to Eugene, which is a little bit north of Cottage Grove, I just started, you know, speaking the truth and being real. And then I got popular, you know, and so I realized that, you know, being real and owning who you are gave me influence. But I didn't really develop ethics and integrity at this time. So I went and, you know, used that influence to get what I needed, whether it be girls. You know, I got 7 kids from 4 women, but I can explain.
And you're a great dad. I already know that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's questionable, you know, but I've had a couple different chances at it, so I'm getting better at it. But
that's right.
But I didn't have the ethics and integrity, so I'd literally go into grocery stores that had, like, they're called Fred Meyer's was one of them. You know what they are?
Smitty's, I think, right?
Yeah, but like they had VCRs. It's not just a grocery store. They had VCRs and tools and clothes and all that. So I'd go around. I would literally take orders from all my friends, and allegedly.
Okay.
I don't know the statutes.
7 years, bro.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Allegedly, I would go in and take a grocery cart, and fill it up, taking orders off the shelf. Someone wants this, Craftsman tool set, you know, VCR, polo shirts, Levi's, whatever it was. I would just load up this cart, jammed full of crap, and I would push it right out the door. So obviously that checkers would be checking, and they'd look up and look right back down, because, like, there's no damn way this kid
just walked out here with a cart full of stuff
like that. Cart full of stuff. So allegedly I did that for a little while. So, I mean, I wasn't really ethical. I was running around, you know, hustling.
For sure.
You know, I was ingenious. I'd find receipts on the mall floor.
And go back and take the items back?
I'd go in, grab it off the shelf, walk up, send him my money back. They'd say, "Do you have a receipt?" And I'd go, "Yeah, right here."
Of course I do.
They'd be like, "What the hell?" And one time they snatched me and they brought me down, and I thought, "Oh, I'm busted. But they thought I was laundering counterfeit money.
Oh, wait.
They went and got the tills, and they came down. They're like, they couldn't figure out what the hell.
No, I'm just doing returns here.
Yeah, but basically, I got away with that.
Well, that's cool. I honestly
allegedly.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool you did that, because, I mean, I did all that, I've shared about that before, but even myself, I'd be like, there's no way a Brad Lea would have done stuff like that, because you're the next level too. So no, a lot of my viewers and listeners now can think that, you know, like, you've done all the same stuff a lot of us did.
So is everybody, dude.
Everybody has.
Anybody that looks down on felons is more than likely a felon themselves. They just didn't get caught.
Yeah, or they have no friends and no clue with reality anyways.
Most felons, their only problem is they got caught.
Yeah,
everybody else that says, "Oh, you know, you're a felon." Oh, dude, so are you, bitch.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just didn't get caught.
For sure. So then what? So where does your life take you after that?
Yeah, so then, you know, kind of finding it the easy way. Everyone kept pressuring me to get a real job, so I went and got a job with the Forest Service fighting forest fires. I show up the first day thinking I'm going to be up there in a flannel shirt with an axe over my shoulder and a wolf by my side, frickin' saving eagle eggs and shit. And
it wasn't like that, huh?
No, dude. They had a big bag of water. They called it a piss bag. They told me to put it on my back and go squirt on the stumps that were still smoldering. I'm like, well, I'm supposed to be fighting fires here. And they're like, no, just squirt on those stumps. So then I got poison oak, and I walked up to the dude, and I said, dude, I got poison oak right here, man. I'm not going to be able to come in for a couple days. And he opened his shirt, and it was his whole body was covered in poison oak. He said, bro, that's part of the job. Get back out there.
Stop.
That's what I said. I said, Pasadena, bitch. I'm not doing it. So I quit, had to sit in the bus till the crew was done, and go back down the mountain. And the next day, I just opened up the newspaper because I needed to get a job, and I saw an ad for selling cars.
How old were you at this point?
17.
Okay.
So I went in and applied and told them I was 18.
My old GM did the same thing.
Even though that's why I always tell people, you know, when it asks, "Are you a felon?" You know, you mark right between the yes and the no. So that's a good one. Yeah,
for all you guys listening to that, when you want to get out and fill out some applications,
closer to the no, than the yes, but just don't put it in the no. You're right, because then you ain't lying. Right?
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then when they said, do you have a high school diploma? You know, I just put yes, even though I did not.
So you didn't even graduate high school?
No.
Wow, cool.
But long story short, I open up the newspaper. I go in there. I get to wear a suit. You know, people are coming in looking for cars. All I got to do is show them. So I'm showing cars, selling the shit out of them, making way more money than anyone on that Forest Service crew. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, sales is where it's at. This is unbelievable. So I just started, hustling, selling cars. The craziest part, though, was like the second or third day I was there, the dude came up and he said, go pick out a car. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, you get a demo. They were called demos.
You got a demo? Yeah, you were a big
hell
dog
yeah.
If you got a demo.
No, everybody did.
Oh, really?
Dude, back when I sold cars, dude, everybody got demos. I wasn't special. Yeah. I had no experience.
Okay.
But he told me to go pick out a car. So I'm like, any car? And he's like, any car. And there's a whole row of Trans Ams out there. So I went and picked a Trans Am with T-tops. And dude, I couldn't believe it. This job was giving me Trans Am to drive for free. Freaking, I was making $6-8 grand a month every single month. I was out selling everybody, and I didn't have any experience. And that's when I said, dude, sales is where it's at.
For sure.
And you say you got a bunch of people into prisons listening to this?
Yep.
Folks, sales is 100% the way you're going to get what you want in life. Like there's three things you need if you want to kick ass in life. And that's the only three things you need. You need the right mindset, you need the right skill set, and you need the right habits. If you master those three things, dude, I don't give a shit what you're down for or how long you've been down. Yep. You're getting out and you're going to fucking go right to the top.
Absolutely. I mean, I did 12 years and went right to the top of car sales and started making 10 grand a month, my first job I ever worked in my life.
Yeah, sales. You have to sell something.
Yeah, and for anybody listening too, you think you only got the construction jobs. Sales, the thing about sales is if you're good at sales, they don't care about your felonies. They don't care if you got prison tattoos on your neck even. They don't really care as long as you can sell like you're supposed to be able to sell. So that's a good one for anybody getting out of prison too.
Yeah, well, sometimes. Yeah. Some places. You can't do some things with a record.
For sure.
But you can sell something legally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't sell something illegally. Get your ass locked back up.
Only legal sales, no, only legal sales.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why people break laws and do this shit is because they're trying to get something out of life, and they don't realize they didn't have the coaching or they just poor judgment and they did something illegal. Dude, you get the skill set of sales, closing, and persuasion down. You don't need to do shit illegal. You can be above board and make yourself millions of dollars.
Make more than drug money legal.
Yeah, so I got really good at sales, started mastering that, and then about 30 years old, I helped this Mexican dude in my dealership come out from the lot. We call them lot porters. Yeah. They're the ones that do the hardest work, wash the cars, jumpstart the cars, move the cars. Like they're the ones doing the real labor. All the salesmen are just up front smoking cigarettes and thinking they're cool. Well, so I get to be this dude's friend, and I'm like, dude, why don't you let me come up, or why don't you let me show you how to sell? And he's like, oh, no, it's not. I'm not a very good sales guy, and I don't have any experience, and yada, yada, yada. But he'd always have his wife and his kids show up for lunch, and his wife was just like the nicest lady, and the kids were just like the nicest kids, but they'd always keep their heads down and not really talk, and it reminded me of me when I was little, feeling ashamed. So I'm just sitting there looking at his family, and this guy's busting his ass. And I'm like, dude, let me show you how to sell and make real money. Boom. He finally came over. I showed him how to sell, and within 3 months, dude was making 15 grand a month. His kids came in, pumped up, wearing the new clothes, smiling, laughing, joking. His wife walked in with her chin up, instead of down.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's when I realized, dude, money, they tell you, money makes you evil and, all this bad shit about money. Money will make you more of what you are. So if money
That's
makes
a really
you,
good one, yeah.
well, if money makes you a dick, bro,
You're
you're a bigger dick without money.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
to me, money wasn't a bad thing, and I knew that I could easily show people how to make a bunch of it. So I quit my job and started a training company. And so that was Lightspeed, and that was my first 8-figure company. And it took about 21 years to freaking build that thing. But
What's crazy though is, and real quick, what you told me when I did your show out there in Vegas, and you helped me out a ton because I had just quit my job and I was trying this whole new venture and didn't really know anything. That was the only job I'd ever worked. Make real good money in the car because I was a finance manager there too. And then I had asked you about quitting your job, and I didn't know you retired from, like, if I had got promoted 2 more times, that's where I would have been, and that's what you retired from. So then I'm thinking, shit, if he retired from that job, there's not, like, I was like thinking, how did I walk away from all that money?
Well,
so you helped me a ton knowing what you did,
Well, why do you call it retired? Like, that's all official. I didn't retire. I quit.
for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Retire is almost like nicer than quitting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I just quit because I wanted to go help people make more money because I saw what it did for this kid. And looking back, I realized the reason why, like, my whole life I was trying to get rich, trying to be a millionaire. I always wanted to be a millionaire, but I could never get there. Even as a GM, I'm making $600,000 at the most. And dude, I was working 90 hours a week
Back then. Yeah, crazy.
So to me, after I quit is when I started making a lot of money. Now, it took a while, but
how long did it take? Do you know?
well, I mean, a lot of money, 12 years.
Okay.
But I was successful because I could close, sell, and persuade. I mean, I can go anywhere in any town at any time and make a living. And when I say a living, I mean, $10,000 a month plus.
For sure.
So I was out there hustling, and I was making a little money, but nothing major. But then I started making a lot of money, and one day I just looked back, and I'm trying to figure out what changed. Why all of a sudden am I able to actually make some money? And I noticed that when I was out for myself, I couldn't break the ceiling. But as soon as I started helping other people, like my intention was to help other people make money. It had nothing to do with me. So as soon as I started helping other people, that's when the money started pouring in.
That's what it's about.
So I always tell people, you want to make $1 million, just help 1 million people.
That's what I always say. When I help 1 million people, then I'll have $1 million.
You'll have more than that, but yeah, I mean, absolutely. Most people are trying to figure out how to help themselves. If you just figure out how to help others solve their problems, and you focus on helping other people and kind of don't worry about you, because you'll be taken care of if you just help enough other people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it sounds cheesy, and a lot of people think, oh man, that's bullshit.
It ain't.
But it's true, man.
It is. And I share the exact same thing. So Lightspeed, after 12 years, it starts taking off, and now, I mean, you do a ton of different stuff there. So where'd you go next with that? When did you start your podcast, actually?
I only started that like 2-3 years ago.
Okay. And you've had Lightspeed now for what, 20 years?
21.
God, wow.
Including today.
And you are everywhere. I've got like tied up to a few other companies, shout out to First Form always, and you go in there, it's Lightspeed VT training. I'm like, damn, this dude Brad Lea is literally everywhere, man.
Come on. Well, my dude's Andy.
Yeah.
So, dudes support dudes.
Absolutely. Yeah, Andy's the man.
Yeah, and Andy's a badass, dude. Every time I tell somebody, you want to know what a real badass is? Andy fucking Frisella.
There we go.
Like, he's just a cool, badass son of a bitch.
Yeah, I meet him next week for the first time.
He's got the coolest shit you ever saw. Like, he's got so much cool shit, you don't even know the shit to buy. Even if you had all the money, you wouldn't buy the coolest shit as he has. Go to his house, it's like a freaking some famous general like Ulysses S. Grant or some president, I forget who it is, but big old kick-ass. That's just one. He's also got Frisella Farms, which is a farmhouse. The cars, he's probably got the sweetest collection of cars I've ever seen in my life.
Have you seen his new garage?
He's got racing teams.
Yeah.
Not in person.
Okay.
But I've seen pictures of it.
Yeah, he does it all.
Dude, it's sick. And his wife's cool as shit. She's like Martha Stewart, the new Martha Stewart.
They all got it going on there.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you.
And he had another cool story, too, because I remember reading something with him. They said 7 years ago they had 12 employees. And then before that, him and Sal were sleeping in the back of their nutrition center. One was working the front, the other was sleeping in the back. Most people always think that you see these dudes that are worth, hundreds of millions or billions of dollars. You think that they were just born that way, and they weren't. They just went out there and got it.
Mindset, skill set, and habits.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
So I want to get into some of the other stuff you're doing now with Real Solar, Real Financial, all that stuff, because there's so many different avenues now out here to make money, and people don't know. And you always talk about getting out of the rat race, and I want dudes in prison to know that they're not tied just to construction. Like, people can almost do anything in the world out here. And I feel like you're realizing that because, like I said, you got your hands on about 20 different projects and companies now.
Yeah. So, I mean, it took me 20 years to build my first 8-figure company. And in the last 6 months, I've built 3 8-figure companies. And I'm going to build 2 more in the next 3 months. So
I'm going to help you on one of those.
Well, I'm hoping. But the reason I did it is because there's so many people out there that are good people. They're hardworking. They're ethical. They just don't know how to get to the next level, or at least get out of the rat race. So as I'm doing my podcast and I'm hanging around all these millionaires and billionaires, I'm just noticing what they do. Well, I got one buddy with his jet, and he buys islands, and he's cool as shit. And then another buddy loaded. I started looking at what they do. Well, they're in the financial services. I'm like, well, I don't even know what that is. So I start doing investigation, have a few people on my podcast, and I realize that's how they're making all their money, because it's a residual-based deal, and there's so much money in the financial space. It's unbelievable. So I started Real Financial, which is an IMO, and I noticed that all the other companies out there's pay plans were lopsided, meaning the people doing all the work were getting the littlest piece of the pie, and the people at the top were getting the big piece of the pie. And I thought to myself, dude, why don't I flip that upside down? Because number one, I got money already, so I don't need money that badly.
Yeah.
And not only that, I believe the person doing the work should be the one compensated the most. Like, you're doing the work, you should get most of it. Like, yeah, I can get a little piece. I'm training you, I'm supporting you, but why should I get the lion's share? So Real Financial, I started it up. People said I couldn't do it. I did all the shit that I had to do to get it started. And all I did was flip the compensation model upside down to where agents come first. Agents make most of the money with Real Financial, where everybody else makes the money at the top. So I flipped the model upside down, and as soon as I did that and started putting agents first, agents started coming.
Flooding in, huh?
Flooding in. And that's how you get successful, is having a lot of people doing it with you. So I'd rather have a dollar off a million people than a million off one.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I started Real Financial. Then a lot of people were reaching out and saying, hey, can I? How do I do this? I'm like, all you got to do is get a license. I'll pay for the school. It's maybe 2 weeks worth of work, but you got to buckle down, get your license. Then I'll teach you how to sell, and I'll give you the leads, and I'll do everything. All you got to do is do the work. And a lot of people were like not able to take it. They had felonies, or they had. And it's not felonies will eliminate you from it, but it makes it more difficult.
Theft charges and stuff.
It just makes it more difficult.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think people that are felons are bad people. I think they just fucking got caught.
I got approved to do it with Ed Milet, and I had, I got 4 felony convictions. And
Yeah,
I got
so
approved.
I mean, some felonies can pass, but I just had a couple people that they didn't want to mess with it. I didn't know the rules, so I just said I got to start another company where people with a background can still do it. So then I looked around, and sure enough, Real Solar popped up. Solar right now is going nuts. Obviously, it's better for the earth. It's green.
Yep.
The government's handing you money to put it on your roof. You save money. You save your power bill. It's a win-win for everybody. So I went and got the top people in the industry and made a deal with them and said, I want to start my own Real Solar company. So then anyone that didn't qualify for financial services, I just bumped them over to Real Solar.
Wow.
And then, I started to vertically integrate things like leads,
Shout out to Dane Lomax, the lead king right here, huh?
Well, again, I mean, all these people that I'm showing, they're going to need leads. So why not start a leads company?
Called Dane Lomax.
And then
Sales hammer.
coincidentally enough, all these people need training. Yeah. And I already had a training company. So the vertical integration just started moving in. And so it's like now everybody needs processing. So I'm like, hey, let's go with Real Merchant Services. So you pop up another one, go make a deal with the top people in the business. Because dude, people are trying to compete with everybody. I'm just trying to collaborate with everybody.
Yes, that's what it's up.
I don't need to go crush the number one company. I need to partner with the number one company.
Right.
And then I just need to bring people in. So because of my social media, I'm able to get thousands of people to raise their hand and get out of the rat race.
How many do you, just personal question. How many DMs do you get back when you do one of those posts? Click Real Financial.
Well, I don't tell them to DM me, though, because I can't reply to all those. But I said, if anybody wants to get out of the rat race, da-da-da-da-da, and I did it maybe 2 or 3 times, and about 7,000 people went and got their license.
Because I was going to say, there's a lot of dudes, people buy followers, all that kind of stuff. Like, I know yours is like, and I've been interviewed on 75 probably podcasts. Like I've already told you this, yours has the biggest following I've done. You can tell like every single one of your followers is not bought and they are real. And that's why I'm saying, I literally laugh every time you do one of those little stories, like click here. And I was like, I can't even imagine how many people are clicking that link right now.
Well, they do click it. And it's because they trust me, because they know
I'm
not trying to sell them on something. I'm trying to help them. Like if you're sitting somewhere locked up right now and you get out, dude, find me, find Peter, because I'm telling you right now, I can show anybody how to get out of the rat race. Given you're willing to work, number one, you got to be willing to work. You can't work, bro. I can't help you, because work is what's required. That's why they call it work. You know why they call it work?
No,
because it works.
That's a good one.
So you got to be willing to work. As long as you're willing to work, I will give you not only the training and the education and the chance and the job and all that, but I will show you how to build your own business within my business.
The greatest thing about that is it's residual income. And it's like car biz money on steroids, and you're not in the car biz.
Dude, if you see the cars with the RR on the headrest, that everyone thinks that stands for Rolls Royce. That stands for recurring revenue. That stands for residual revenue.
Every one of those dudes that has one of those probably got some type of residual income business for sure.
Yeah, so I've already vetted the industries. Number one, the financial services made more millionaires than any other industry on planet Earth.
Okay.
Even real estate.
Yeah.
So financial services, you got a better chance of being a millionaire there than any other business.
Yeah.
But I looked for real businesses that someone that does the work is actually able to make between $200,000 and $500,000 a year themselves, without recruiting people, without anything, just themselves.
Okay.
So, and that's where it starts. That's how you get out of the rat race. You got to make yourself enough money to where you have a considerable amount left over, not check to check. I know people that literally pay their bills for the month and they got $1,800 left. And, half of that spent usually,
I got friends that make a few $100,000 a year and live like that.
Yeah, well, again, they're still in the rat race.
Yeah, 100%.
But I can show people and teach people how to get out of the rat race if they're willing to work. So that's what I'm focused on, is just I want to help 1 million people get out of the rat race. And I can do it really easily. I got the training system, which is the baddest interactive training system on planet Earth. I've got the vehicles. I've got the knowledge, the know-how, the connections, the leads, the processing. I got everything anybody would need to freaking be successful.
Yeah, for sure. And if you can, it's your own fault, and you ain't trying to do the work anyways.
Well, if like I tell people, dude, I can save you from drowning, but you got to swim towards me.
That's
some people that aren't willing to work, they identify.
You're just like the king of one-liners, dude.
Well, I just wanted a program that I could promote with conviction. So when you fail, I know it's you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You aren't willing to do this shit, because if you did this shit, it works.
You'd be where I told you.
So at the end of the day, you can identify the ones that aren't willing to work, because those are the ones that quit or give up, or they're saying, I don't want to do this, and I don't want to make calls, and I don't want to sell anything. Well, then I can't help you.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you ask me, you want to get out of the rat race, bro, you're gonna have to sell something. You're gonna sell yourself. You got to freaking sell a product of some kind, someone else's or yours.
Yeah.
If you're smart, you'll find one that's win-win and has a built-in, market, which all of the ones I've picked do.
Of course.
And you have to hustle.
And I had to tell people, the whole world is sales. Like even when you're locked up, like when I was locked in my cell, I was trying to sell the fact that I had to get my door open to the CO. Whatever the excuse was, whatever the game I was trying to run, that's sales right there. It's the same exact thing if you translate it out here.
Yeah, everybody's in sales.
Yeah, the whole world revolves in sales. Another cool, interesting point, I just want people to do this because it taught me a ton when you did this about waking up. So give me again you have some saying for right when you wake up about gratitude?
Yeah, I mean, gratitude, I'm telling you, is some magical shit.
It is.
So one day I realized that, because I was always after $1 million. I thought $1 million was all
Do you think how you grew up made you like that? Because I grew up around a lot of rich kids and I wasn't even close to being rich, so I always felt like I had to overcompensate, and that's why when I grew up, that's all I wanted to. Do you think that factored into how you were growing up like that?
I don't know. I just always wanted to be rich. Like, who doesn't want to be rich?
Yeah.
If someone says they don't want to be rich, they're lying.
Yeah, for sure.
They're confused. Let's just say that. Because you do want to be rich. You don't want to be a piece of shit, but you do want to be rich. Money will help you do more of what you want to do. So anybody that's saying money's not that important, they need to unlearn some things because that's what society has put in their head or their families put in their head. Money doesn't make you bad. So anyway, the gratitude part. I always wanted to be rich. I always wanted $1 million. So one day I realized if someone gave me $1 million, how would I feel? I'd be pumped up. I'd be excited. But when I woke up in the morning, I didn't have that same enthusiasm or that excitement. And I thought to myself, what would I rather do? Wake up tomorrow or get $1 million? Well, I'd rather wake up than get $1 million. Well, then if you know waking up, just simply waking up is worth more than $1 million, then why aren't you as excited as if you just got handed $1 million? So I just started to trick my brain into opening my eyes, being really appreciative that I got another day. And the second I woke up, I had gratitude, immense gratitude. And the crazy part, as soon as you feel like that, dude, you don't have to go to work. You get to go to work.
For sure.
If you got your rent due and you have to pay it, dude, you get to figure out your rent that day. Because imagine, think about it. Let's say you got all the problems in the world. You're one of those negative motherfuckers that bitch and moan and complain and blame Biden and everybody else.
For sure.
And I say, well, how about you just don't wake up? And someone says, no, I don't want to do that. Okay,
I'm
well
not
then,
that mad.
Well, then shut up. Be happy that you got another day. Be happy that you get the opportunity to pay rent. You get the opportunity to pick up your kids or do whatever it is that you don't like to do.
Yeah.
And then it shifts your perspective because when it boils down to it, bro, it's all perspective.
Everything is 100%.
What do you like? How do you see things is what matters. There's two kids, a rich kid and a poor kid. They stick them both in a room full of shit. They come back in an hour. The rich kid's pissed. The poor kid's happy. They walk in to the rich kid. They say, what's the problem? He says, what are you talking about, dude? You stuck me in a room full of shit, man. What would you do? They walk into the poor kid and they say, hey, what are you so happy about? He says, well, with all this shit, there has to be a pony in here somewhere. Same situation, two
I never
different
even heard
attitudes.
that one from you. Yeah, dude, drop some more on me, dude. That's what I was like saying. I'm like, dude, I didn't even do show notes for you. I was like, I just want to hear you talk, bro. You're seriously really inspirational. You got some really cool stuff. That gratitude thing goes so far with me because it is all about perspective and like I've always shared my gratitude meter is like my life meter. You know what I'm saying? If I'm feeling grateful and I can look at the other perspective, everything's good. And if not, and I'm ungrateful, then I'm one mad dude. I might as well be back in prison.
Yeah, and so if people got to audit themselves, again, you lie to me, you're lying to yourself. You get up in the morning. Do you feel enthusiastic? Are you leaping out of bed? Are you waking up early?
Yeah.
Are you enthusiastic? And if you're like, no, I'm not. Okay, well then you got to trick yourself. I had to trick myself, so I put a sign on my wall that said, "Congratulations, you get another day, bitch." I even wrote bitch. So I'd wake up and I'd start thinking, damn, because I used to have to park my car a couple blocks away so the tow truck driver didn't get it because it was out for repo. I was 2 months, 3 months down sometimes on the pavement.
Tell the people what you drive now for all the people that have no idea who you are.
Well, I drive all kinds of shit now.
Tell them what you got.
Well, it doesn't matter. I got all the toys.
Well, people on here listening, like, especially from prison, they know they used to do the same type of shit you do, and they can see you with your Raptor and your Ferrari and all your stuff, and I've seen your watch collection that's worth more than probably the Ferrari. Like you're the real deal, bro.
Well, yes, I am. That is a fact. Well, I drive all the cool shit, but I don't think that's what's important. I think what's important is I'm helping a lot of freaking people drive the shit they want to drive.
Just like we said, when you put helping people first, and then all the cars that you want come.
That's right. So wake up in the morning, congratulations, you get another day on your wall, and every time you open your eyes, just look over at it and remind yourself that just waking up, you just got something more valuable than $1 million. So get that same enthusiasm.
It's true, man. And I'm not a guy and a lot of guys, especially like in the recovery community, because I'm in the recovery community, they'll do the whole meditation thing and they'll take 30 minutes to meditate and all that stuff in the morning. And I'm not joking. People have tried to beg me to do that. And I'm like, I'm never going to be that guy. But you changed the game for me. Like I seriously will try to literally just give myself 2 minutes and just be like, all right, I'm grateful for today and let's go. So anybody that's locked in a cell or something like that, it can change the way
you should be
day
grateful
goes for you on the yard.
You should be grateful you're locked in a cell, even though.
Yeah, because when I was in a cell, I need to be in there.
Well, not only that, but I mean, even though when people always ask me, what was it like when you hit rock bottom? And I'm like, dude, I've never hit rock bottom. They're like, weren't you homeless on the beach? And I'm like, well, yeah, but number one, it was a beach.
Yeah. I know. I heard you were homeless. I could not believe that.
For a couple of weeks, but not like
Still, I mean, that's more than I was.
Yeah, but dude, I mean, it's a choice. It boils down to a choice. I could have went back home.
Yeah.
Didn't want to look like a puss. Didn't want to hear my dad's bullshit. Like, I just decided, no, I'll just hang out on the beach, find me a girl, which I did.
Of course.
But the point is like, that's just perspective. I mean, it was a beach. It wasn't that tough. So I don't think my life's been tough, even though if someone saw my life, they'd be like, damn, dude, you've had
some shit.
Yeah, you've had some tough shit happen to you, but not really.
Yeah.
It just depends on how you look at it. I think I've been blessed. I think I'm one of the luckiest dudes on planet Earth.
You look like it.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm serious.
So if you're in prison, you might think that sucks, and I got to agree, by the way. Like, guys, I hate fucking prison. I do not like jail. I do not like being told what to do. I got kicked out of my house at 16 because I didn't want to mow because I was told to mow the lawn, and I don't tell me what to do. I hate being told what to do.
Yeah.
So I hate being locked up. So everybody locked up, dude, I feel you. Dude, that is, in my opinion, the absolute fucking rock bottom worst thing on earth. So guess what? Do some fucking push-ups. Be excited that you're going to get out one of these days.
Yeah.
Start preparing to get out. Like, don't compare yourself. Prepare yourself. Start doing push-ups. Start reading books. Go get books, man.
Yeah.
I had a guest on my podcast the other day. I said, "You read books?" He said, "No, books are for prisoners." And I said, well, what a fucking dumb statement that is, first of all. But second of all, books have information. Now, I like to keep shit simple. Mm-hmm. So if you want to change what you're getting, you got to change what you're doing. If you want to change what you're doing, you have to change what you believe. Because the reason you do what you do and think like you think is your beliefs. Whatever they are, and they don't have to be true or real.
Yeah.
You can believe false shit, right? So your belief system dictates your actions and your choices. That dictates your results. So if you reverse engineer it, if you want to get something different, you got to do something different. Mm-hmm. If you want to do something different, you have to believe something different. The only way to change your beliefs, the only way that you can change your beliefs is by getting new information. There's no other way. So once you realize that, like, why aren't you grabbing a book every single day and reading 10, 20, 30 pages? Mm-hmm. New information increases your value. New information changes your beliefs. The beliefs change, your actions change, your results change.
Yeah.
I always tell people, because everybody always asks me how to get rich. I don't know, but I know this. If you want to increase your net worth, increase your self-worth. Like, you got to make yourself more valuable. And how do you do that? Get some information, man. Yeah. And I ain't talking about reading a shampoo bottle when you're taking a shit. I'm talking about freaking books, man. 4 Agreements, How to Win Friends, Influence People, Think and Grow Rich, Law of Attraction, As a Man Thinketh.
How about Ed Milet's new book? You read that yet?
No.
Or your book, too. Shout out to that so they can buy that in the joint, too, because they can buy books in there.
Well, you should buy The Hard Way. That's for damn sure.
Yeah,
that's
there
my
we go.
book. Lessons I Learned the Hard Way so you don't have to. And what's funny is they're already learning some of the lessons that are in there.
They just don't know it.
No, they know it. They're sitting in jail. They're learning some. A couple of the lessons are fucking, don't break laws. But at the end of the day, man, it's not as tough as people think. I think everybody tries to figure out what they need to learn, when in reality, most people, they need to unlearn. They were already domesticated. They were already taught something, and it was bullshit, and they believed it, and it's causing their limitations. So they need to unlearn some shit.
That's right. Question now. Was there a moment during your time when you're like, cool, I made it? Like,
not yet.
You still haven't had that?
No, I mean, I haven't made it
not
yet.
till I'm saying not till the jet comes. I'm being serious here.
Well, not
is
till,
that when you'll have that?
I mean, I know I've made it.
For sure, clearly.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a very successful individual, but to me, if I'm heading here and I'm here, have I made it? Someone asked me, what keeps you going, Brad? I said, what are you talking about? They're like, well, what keeps you going? I mean, you got enough to just stop. I said, well, I'm not finished. I'm headed here. So that'd be the equivalent of getting up in the morning to go take a piss and you just stop in the kitchen, piss in the sink. Well, why don't you do that? Why do you go all the way to the bathroom? Well, because that's where you're headed.
Yeah.
And you don't stop in the hallway. You just keep going until you get where you're headed. And I'm headed to a billionaire.
Yeah. And you put your foot on the throttle lately, too, more than anything. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I was playing small, man. I spent 20 years helping all these other people get their stages going, and I didn't help myself. I was helping Grant Cardone and all these people that use my software build up their social media, build up their brands, and now I'm doing it for myself. I'm also helping other people do it, but like building a brand, dude's easy if you know what you're doing. That's the thing. Most people, they don't know what they're doing. The other times, they don't necessarily think they're worth it subconsciously, so they don't put anything on social media because they're more worried about other people's opinions than their own. So I show people how to fix that so they can put themselves on social media, and that's how you build a brand. You film what you do and who you are, and you let people see it. And you can't fear the hate that people get when they do that, or you'll never find the love. Your universe filters out the right people in your life. Meaning, people say, "What, you mean you're the wrong people?" No, the right people. Like the people that should leave your life, that's the right person that should be leaving.
Yeah.
And how you filter that is you be yourself. So if you're one way and I don't like that, then I shouldn't be around you, right? And the people that do like it stick around you. So what you do is you be yourself, and you'll attract the people that need to be and should be in your life, and you'll repel the people that won't. The problem is we worry about all the hate and all the people leaving our life, and we're worried about this FOMO shit. Like, dude, just go look in the mirror. You're the only person that's going to be in your life the whole fucking time. So you need to like yourself. You need to raise your self-worth. You need to raise your self-value.
That's so good.
So you're not looking to other people to validate you.
That's so good. Because you're right. If you don't have any self-confidence, you're not going to do shit for yourself anyway.
Don't you have a bomb button around here somewhere?
Not yet. It'll be coming. That would have been a dropping bombs thing, though, too, right? Yeah.
Well, see, here's the problem, dude. Most people have been convinced that they're a piece of shit or they're not worthy. And they've been lying to themselves and other people and procrastinating. And every time you do that, man, you chip away at your self-esteem. And what's crazy is it happens in the subconscious.
Yes. And
subconscious literally means below awareness. So you're not aware of it. That's why people, I ain't fucking like that. Dude, you wouldn't be aware if you were like that.
Yeah.
But most people are like that, and they don't know how to correct it. So I created what I call the Sacred Six. Those things will correct that over time. The first thing you have to do is wipe the slate clean just by forgiving yourself and anybody else out there. You just forgive yourself. Whatever you've done, I don't care. You robbed a bank, you murdered someone, whatever you've done, you deserve a second chance. Everybody deserves a second chance.
If I do, you do, yeah.
A third chance, a 10th chance, as long as you're freaking serious and you forgive yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, and others. Then you commit to do what you say you're going to do. You keep your word, period.
Yeah.
Especially to yourself.
For sure.
You say you're going to start a diet on fucking Monday?
Do it.
Start the fucking diet.
Yep.
But step 3 is you rack up the wins because you want to be very intentional about winning. So a lot of people set these massive goals and then they fall short. And then everybody that loves them says, oh, that's still pretty good. You know, no, it's a loss, bro. And if you lose a lot, that makes you a loser. And subconsciously, it's like, dude, this guy's a loser. He don't deserve shit. So you want to rack up the wins because when you win a lot, you feel like a winner. If you won all the time, but dude, you're walking around in a good mood all the time because you're winning a lot. So you just set smaller goals throughout the day and hit them.
Yeah.
You know, can you make one more call? Can you knock on one more door? Can you introduce yourself to one more person? Mm-hmm. You know, there's smaller wins that are still wins.
Yeah.
So you rack up the wins on a daily basis by setting small goals every day and knocking them out. And then what happens after you do that for a little while is you'll start walking around and feeling better about yourself. You'll feel like there's hope. You'll feel like you deserve more. And then step 4, get rid of the idiots. Because when you start walking around like you deserve more, assholes and people in your life will tell you that you don't. And then we listen to them. And then, you know, we get in arguments. And the next thing you know, I punched him because he told me this. It's just, you spiral back down. What you do is you just get rid of the idiots. You block everybody out. You don't allow it to go into your head because your head is like soil. If you plant corn, corn is what grows. You plant wheat, wheat is what grows. So if you plant negative shit, dude, that's what grows.
Yeah.
So you have to guard that by
sure.
getting rid of all the negativity, including your own self-talk. Then step 5, you need to map out and visualize exactly what success looks like. Most people don't know what that is. I'm talking about specifically. If I told you to write a list down of everything you want in the next 10 years, anything, and not that you think you can get, but anything that you want, you'd be writing, all this kick-ass shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's say you have a jet. Well, what color are the seats? What color is the plane? What's the tail number?
Like Shawn Mikes.
All the different specificity to every single thing, but you want to map out and visualize exactly what it is you want, because everyone's different. See, people say, what's the key to success? And I say, it's more of a combination.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's looking for a key. Dude, it's a combination.
God.
And everybody's got their own.
Yeah.
I know a guy that thinks getting laid every night is successful. I think it's dangerous. 2 different people.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, man, you got to figure out what you want. Otherwise, you could make a lot of money and end up suicidal because it's not what you wanted, but you never took the time to figure it out.
Yeah.
So that's what people need to do. They need to map out and visualize exactly what success looks like to them, because then every day life gets easier. When I'm clear of where I want to be, every decision either moves me towards or away from those things, right?
Yeah.
So you wake up in the morning. Should I work out today? I don't know. Is it going to move me towards my goal or away from my goal?
Yeah.
Is it going to move me towards this or away from this? And it's so easy to see, because when it boils down to it, dude, life is about choices.
Yes.
Prison is filled with some people that made some fucking dumb choices. Okay, so fix your choices. So how do you fix your choices? Well, it's very simple. Does this move me towards or away? And the only way that you know to do that is if you have perfect clarity on where it is you're going. Like right now, if I started heading the wrong direction and I'm heading to LA, you'd be like, bro, it's that way.
Mm-hmm.
So why am I heading that way? So once people are aware and intentional and they start to realize that, that's because they mapped it out, and now it's a lot easier to make decisions, good decisions. And then step 6 is seek information, because of what I said earlier. Like, you have to read books every day.
How often do you read right now?
Every day.
Do you really?
Fuck yeah.
That's good.
Like, dude, you need information. You think you know everything, bro?
Not even
Well,
close.
then why wouldn't you read something?
Yeah.
Like, dude, there's books out there. There's podcasts out there. There's people out there that know shit you don't. And that's why I respect everybody, because every time I run into anybody, I don't care what level of life they're in, they know something you don't. Mm-hmm. And I want to know it all, period. So I'm going to read. I'm going to talk to people, and at the end of the day, bro, it boils down to relationships. The relationships you have is where you get all your money. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Every dollar you've ever received is from a relationship of some kind. So if you realize that, well, then you just got to go meet as many people as you. If you knew 5 times the people you knew today, you'd have 5 times more than you have right now. Because relationships is where the money comes from.
Yeah.
The resources, the network, the referrals, it's the relationships that matter. So I always say, the more hands you shake, the more money you make.
Yep.
That's like, someone should tattoo that shit and just look at it every day. The more hands you shake, the more money you make. Because how hard is it to go shake hands every day?
Not hard. I do it every day.
Not a lot of people do.
I know.
Go ask people.
Yep.
When have you met somebody new? They'll be like, I don't know. Like when did you meet someone new other than just a minute ago when you met me? But you didn't do it intentionally. So like, people need to intentionally go somewhere and meet people. But a lot of people are like, well, dude, that's awkward. I feel stupid. Well, that's the problem. Why do you feel stupid? Because you don't know yourself. So the first relationship you should establish is the one with yourself.
Yeah.
Like, go fix the relationship with yourself. Forgive, commit, rack up the wins, start feeling better about yourself, get rid of the people that you're hanging around and start hanging around smarter, better people than you. Freaking map out exactly what you want to do and read every day. And I guarantee you, 60, 90, 180 days later, you're going to feel 1,000 times better. You're going to be in a much better position. And then eventually you're going to have what people call confidence. But to me, confidence is just the memory of winning.
That's right.
If I'm a fighter and I'm confident, it's because I beat so much ass, dude. You want to go outside? Let's go.
You know what time it is,
Because I win a lot,
Yeah.
and it's the memory of winning that gives somebody confidence. So just go fucking win.
That's right.
Which is at the end of the day, a choice.
Yeah,
It's
but
a choice.
I'm a firm believer that I feel like it's just all battles in your head. You know, I still go through. I could go to the gym and have 2 different battles in my head on, you know, if I'm going to be lazy or what I'm going to work out or something like that. And you could also look at it like this, just for a little extra motivation. People can look at you and think like, "Fuck that guy, he's rich. I don't want that shit." Or they could look at it like, holy shit, that dude is rich and he did the same shit I did. I can be that guy, which is how you just got to channel your thinking, you know, like channel your thinking to be like, holy shit, I can be the next Brad Lea and I have multiple businesses and drive a Ferrari and stuff like that, instead of thinking like, screw that, or he had it made or he had it cut out from, because you clearly didn't. Any one of us can do
Dude,
anything.
I came from the mud. That's a fact. Nobody can say they gave me anything.
Yeah.
But you also can't do it alone. So
sure.
There's no such thing as a self-made millionaire.
Yeah, that's
I know
right.
a lot of people that call them that because they're like me. They built it, and no one gave them anything. But dude, somebody had to buy your product. Somebody had to believe in you. Somebody had to give you a chance. You're not getting anywhere by yourself. So relationships are the key, and you personally need to know yourself and like yourself and value yourself first. Then you go out and start meeting people.
Yeah.
Then you're worth knowing.
Because you got to feel like you're good enough to be talking to these people, you know?
Yeah, I always ask somebody, you know, go introduce yourself. They're like, no, I don't. They're talking. I don't want to look stupid. Well, why does their opinion of you trump your opinion of you? See, that's why when people say, Brad, you sometimes you're a little offensive. I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm trying to tell you the truth. If you're offended, that's not me.
You can't handle the truth.
Well, I'm not intentionally offending people. It's just I value my opinion, so I'm going to state it. And if that doesn't sit well with you, well, then you should unfollow me or get away from me, you know, void me out, cross me out, like stay away.
Yeah.
And then if you like what I'm saying, come on.
Yeah.
I got more of it.
Right, for sure. And I want to get on one more thing real quick too, because you're sober, right?
My what?
You're sober? You don't drink?
Well, I mean, you know.
Here and there or what?
I mean, I haven't for a while, but not that
I want
not
other
that I
people to-
won't again.
For sure. And you're not, and like I said, you're not an addict and sober like me, but it's just, I feel like you got to outweigh the benefits out here, you know? Like, because a lot of people that are going to get out are going to want to go drink and want to go to the bars and all that shit. Like,
What for?
that's what I'm saying. I feel like most successful people, even if they do drink, it's so minimal, and it's just like,
Yeah, I used to be I wouldn't say a drunk. My dad was a drunk his whole life. I used to drink to have fun. I still will drink to have fun. I just, you know, I'm having more fun not drinking, tell you the truth.
That's right.
But I'm not against drinking. I'm against excessive drinking, meaning I'll never be drunk again.
Yeah.
You know, if
I don't have that off button, so I got to just completely cut myself off.
Dude, people are different, man. Like
Yeah.
I got hooked on crack once for 3 days. 3 days.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
Like, I'm good on that shit.
I never touched it again. But, you know, for that 3 days, dude, I was a fucking crackhead.
Yeah.
I was a big crackhead.
So crack was the one drug that did nothing for me. Did I smoke this shit? I was like, what the hell do people do
you
this
needed to
stuff
smoke
for?
it more than once.
Maybe, yeah.
Because that's what happened to me. I smoked it once. It wasn't nothing. Smoked it twice. Ding. I was fucking sprung for 3 days, dude. I was trying to find crack on the floor, and I ended up smoking.
did that.
Ended up smoking a little piece of glazed donut. And I'm like, dude, is that a rock? And, you know, it wasn't. So anyway, I'm just not I just don't have an addictive personality, I guess. But if you do, then just stay away from it. But the reason I've been staying
Switch
away
the
from
addiction to money. That's what I did.
that's what Grant did.
Yeah.
But the reason I stay away from it is because if you read, you'll realize alcohol is literally poison to your body. It is poisonous substance. You are killing your body when you drink alcohol.
For sure.
So if you realize that and you like yourself, because I like myself,
Yeah.
I just stop hurting myself.
Yeah.
So now it's like I do drink, but I haven't, because like, why the fuck would I want to? But I won't ever say never.
Yeah, that's right.
But sober, I know that's your deal.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people, that's probably the smartest deal.
Yeah.
I think everybody, actually, if someone told me, Brad, should I drink or not drink? The answer is not.
Yes.
But again, I mean, you know, if you can have a beer on a hot day,
Yes.
go ahead.
I was never like, I don't like the taste of beer. Like I did, even alcohol, like every drink I drank, I would just drink them so fast. I wanted the effects of alcohol. I didn't like the taste of drinking. That's why.
Me too. I drank to get drunk.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've had plenty of times waking up, not remembering the night before, trying to figure out who I pissed off, who I punched.
Yeah.
You know, I've never woke up from a blackout night before with more money, more friends.
Yep, for sure.
Nicer car, nicer
Never
house.
happens.
It's always the opposite.
All right, so the last thing I want to get into here is just your trip down here, because you're super motivating, and I want people to think that they can do anything too. So flying a private jet down here, what else do you got going on this weekend? And then last, I just want to give some final advice to anybody locked up for when they get out or something.
Well, I'm down here to do a one-day event with my boy Andy Elliott.
Shout out to Andy Elliott Group.
So people are buying these big-ass expensive tickets to come in and listen to us for a day.
Pay a lot of money to listen to you talk for a full day, right?
Yeah. $6,000. There's like, let's say 300 people. It's $6,000. How much is that? Quick.
It's a lot of math. I don't know my calculator.
1.8 million.
There we go.
So I just came down to get the bag and ultimately help people.
That's right.
Sell, close, and persuade. It's all about sales, closing, and persuasion. It's the ultimate closer summit. Literally, if you can master the art of sales, you'll never go hungry. You'll never be without.
Mm-hmm.
You can take care of your family. You
Drive
can take
whatever
care
you
of
want.
yourself. You can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
So the whole day is literally on sales, closing, and persuasion. But the reason I always bring up mindset is because that is a part of sales. Like your mindset, the fact that when people introduce themselves, they don't smile. When I introduce myself, I'm nervous. Why am I nervous? Well, that's because of the mindset. That's because of the work that you need to do internally. Everybody's trying to figure out what needs to happen outside to make a change, when in reality, what needs to happen is inside. You need to change.
Yeah.
And no one can help you with that. Like, you can't help me with that. Only you can help you do that.
Yeah, for sure. And we can do anything. You got to just rewire your brain to think however you want, and it's possible. I've had to rewire my brain 3 completely full times. Last minute here, if we can, one little just last piece of advice. Anybody that's like, say, on their last year in prison, trying to figure out a game plan, because that's all I did my last year. I was like, oh shit, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to get a construction job. Any little piece of advice on them, or just the last little minute of glory for all my dudes locked up that are trying to come out and make something of themselves and really change their lives?
Yeah, I'd start hitting the fitness as much as possible and reading.
Okay.
Get some books on communication, human behavior, psychology.
Yeah.
Sales, obviously, if you can find it. Marketing's huge.
Yes.
And if you really study for the entire year that you're getting out, by the time you get out, dude, you'll be a very high in demand individual.
Way farther than me, because I didn't do anything positive. Like I said, luckily I went to solitary my last 10 months, so I was even just able to get off drugs and get even just somewhat of my mind right. So it saved my life. So if I had a podcast in there with the tablets and I was able to do better stuff, you could be so far ahead when you get out than I was when I got out.
Yeah, well, people just need to understand that it is possible.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks, no one's going to hire a felon. Bullshit, dude. I'll hire a felon.
I'm covered head to toe in like a neck tattoo, and I was a finance manager at a major car dealership.
Yeah.
And I stole a Mercedes-Benz from the Mercedes-Benz at Chandler dealership. So if you sell, you can do anything. All you have to do is, like we said, sell yourself to the boss. That's what I did.
Yeah.
I came out after doing a 12-year prison sentence, straight up on parole, super convict status, and I just sold myself to the GM, and he let me have a shot, and I never looked back. So anybody can do it.
Anyone can do it, folks.
Dude, I'm serious, man. Thank you so much for being here. You're very, very inspirational, and I feel like people can just learn so much for just the way that you think, and a lot of people can apply that to their lives right now, whether if they're sitting in a prison cell or they're sitting out here on the street. So thank you so much for coming here. Everybody look up Real Financial, Real Solar, Brad Lea, Dropping Bombs podcast is one of the biggest podcasts around, and this dude is a full-on legend, and thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure, man.
Thank you guys for tuning into another episode of Roll Call with Chappie. I'm super excited. I just want to go back and hear it myself. I want to just replay what you were just saying. So thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Roll Call with Chappie. We're out. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe wherever you get your podcast and leave us some feedback. We would love to know what you think. You can find everything discussed in this episode and more in our show notes below or petermeyerhoff.com. I am Peter Meyerhoff, and you've been listening to the Roll Call with Chappie podcast.